Hello again. Put my sweater on. It's a little cold in here, but yeah. So this is 3-4 notes. This is honors geometry, and this is period 3 and 8. So 3-4 notes. Chapter 3, section 4. Chapter 3, section 4. We have three things. Okay, we have altitudes in triangles. All right, and so altitudes, what are they? And what do they create? The second thing we have, make this a little bigger, is medians in triangles. And the same thing. What are they and what do they create? What are they and what do they create? And the third piece in 3-4 is auxiliary lines. Auxiliary lines, auxiliary actually, auxiliary lines. So what are those? So the first topic is medians, and medians are segments in a triangle that connect a vertex and the midpoint of the opposite side. Now I'm going to draw a triangle right here. And in a triangle, there are three vertices. So this is a vertex. So that's a vertex. This is also a vertex, and this is also a vertex. And if I look at the definition of a median, is a segment going from a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. So when you shoot an arrow, I like to say shoot an arrow through the angle, through the vertex, and you will come out its opposite side. Okay? Now there are three medians in each triangle. And they all go from the vertex to the opposite side. So medians create two congruent segments. to do that, what that means is this. So I have a vertex, I'll call it point X. And then I have a median, and I'll call this point Y. And this point and this point need letters. So that means that if XY, which is this segment right here, is a median, then AY is congruent to BY. Because medians create two congruent segments. So that's what medians do. That's what they are, and that's what they create. They are segments going from a vertex to the opposite side, to the opposite side's midpoint, and they create two congruent segments. That's what medians are. Now, altitudes these are segments from a vertex in a triangle that are perpendicular to the opposite side. They, altitudes, create two congruent right angles. Now, altitudes are like medians because they do come from a vertex but they don't always create midpoints. So I'll call this triangle ABC. And I'm going to draw a segment from vertex B to point D on the opposite side. The opposite side to the vertex B is AC. So BD is an altitude. BD is an altitude from B, right here, to AC. Now BD, BD forms a right angle. Why does it form a right angle? Because it is perpendicular to AC. So BD creates two congruent right angles. Those two right angles are here and here. Angle ADB, angle ADB is congruent to angle CDB. Because altitudes create two congruent right angles. That's altitudes. Now, one fact about altitudes, altitudes can be outside triangles. So this gets a little bit tricky, but here's a triangle. And if I drew an altitude here, that's inside the triangle. If I drew an altitude here, now watch this one. This vertex is opposite this side. So sometimes you have to extend the side. Okay, there's another altitude. And then now the third one is even trickier. Here's the third altitude. This is the side that it has to be perpendicular to, ZY. So the altitude is perpendicular to this side. Well, it's tough to see, but it's right here. Okay? So that's perpendicular to this side. The red one is perpendicular to this side. And the green altitude is perpendicular to this side. So altitudes can be outside triangles, and that's something you're going to have to let sink in. All right, so the third piece in this 3-4, the third idea is auxiliary lines. Auxiliary. These are segments, the segs needed to make triangles in a proof. Okay? So, for example, auxiliary means on the side. If I have a diagram like this, and that's all I have, then you need auxiliary lines. And auxiliary lines look like this. Now you can see I have two triangles. Okay? So we'll do the worksheet in another video.